Hello and welcome. We are on page number 23 of chapter 3 of ICA study material on GST. In this session, we have to start our session from the topic tax payable by e-commerce operators on notified services. Friends, this taxation in respect of e-commerce operators will be extensively dealt with in your final course. But here we have a glimpse of the e-commerce operators because we had a reference of e-commerce operators in section 9 subsection 5 if I remember correctly. Let's check it. Once we will go to the provisions of levy and collection, and here we have 9 subsection 5. So what here it has been mentioned is the government on recommendation of the council by notification specify categories of service the tax on intrastate supplies of which shall be paid by the electronic commerce operator if such services are supplied through it, and all the provisions of this act shall apply to such e-commerce operator as if he is the supplier liable for paying the tax in relation to the supply of such services. Next, suppose if the electronic commerce operator do not have a permanent establishment or a physical presence in the taxable territory, then any person representing such e-commerce operator for any purpose in the taxable territory shall be liable to pay the tax. If the e-commerce operator does not have a physical presence in the taxable territory, or he does not have any representative in the said territory, then what he has to do is he has to appoint a person in the taxable territory for the purpose of payment of tax, and such person will be liable to pay the tax. Okay, this is 9 subsection 5. What we will do is we will just have a small analysis of this e-commerce operator. A small analysis of this e-commerce operator. So what this e-commerce operator has to do, or what are the obligations on the e-commerce operator, just we will have a reference. Whom do you mean by a e-commerce operator? Is any person who owns, operates, manages an electronic platform for supply of goods or services, or both. Now this e-commerce operator is managing a platform, electronic platform, for supply of goods or services, or both. What will happen is sometimes the e-commerce operator himself supplies the goods or services through its electronic portal. But many a times what will happen is the products displayed on the electronic portal are actually supplied by some other person to the customer. Generally what will happen is the customer places an order for a product or service on the portal. The actual supplier supplies the selected product to the customer. Now the customer will pay the consideration for the product or service to the e-commerce operator. Then e-commerce operator will remit the amount to the actual person who has supplied the product or service after deducting his commission. Now what are the classic examples of e-commerce operator? You very well know, you have Amazon. Now let's go into Amazon and check, so that you will have a better understanding of or you can appreciate what I am saying. Now let's go to Amazon, amazon.in. Now Amazon.in is an e-commerce operator. Okay. So what this fellow is doing, he is maintaining an electronic platform. Now let's say we want to buy an iPhone. Well, we will go for iPhone. We will go for iPhone 11. Right. We'll go for iPhone 11. What is happening? Maybe my net connection is a bit slow right now. Mm, 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 iPhone 11. Mm, mm. What I will do is, in the meantime, I will explain it to you on the board. Right now, this fellow Amazon, this fellow Amazon is an e-commerce operator. E-commerce operator. Now suppose there is one Mr. A. He wants to buy an iPhone. He wants to buy an iPhone. Now what he will do is, he will go into the Amazon.com and there he place an order. There he place an order on Amazon. Now once the order is received by this Amazon what will we do is, it will display the iPhones 11 sold by X Limited, iPhone 11 sold by Y Limited, iPhone 11 sold by Z Limited, and so on and so forth, because many people are there in that Amazon by who have registered as sellers. Now this fellow want to buy an iPhone. This iPhone is sold by iPhone 11 is sold by X Limited, Y Limited, Z Limited. Now you have a choice of selecting with whom you want to place the order. Now you clicked Y Limited. You clicked Y Limited. Now once you have selected the product and it is given that it is 63,800 rupees. Now what you will do? You will pay the amount to the Amazon. This Amazon fellow will give an intimation to Y Limited that you have to send this iPhone to Mr. A, who is residing at Vijayawada. Now this fellow will pack the phone properly and he will send it to Mr. A of Vijayawada. Now what this Amazon people will do is, since the amount is received by Amazon, now here this may be subjected to GST. So what Y Limited sales is, 63,800. Now this is inclusive of GST, including GST. So this is actual sale is of Y Limited, but it has sold the product through Amazon, for which Y Limited pay Amazon some commission. Y Limited will pay Amazon certain commission. Now in Y Limited books what they have to do? They have to bifurcate 55,000 rupees selling, just for the example sake I am telling you, and add GST, that is 8,800, total 63,800. Now X Limited has to pay IGST to the government, the 8,800 rupees is to be paid as IGST. Now what Amazon will do? So Amazon will do, it has to remit the money to Y Limited because it has received the money. So 63,800 less commission of 2,000 rupees. Now it is 61,800. Now Amazon will remit the money to Y Limited. This is what it is happening. Now in the given example, what I and even sometimes this Amazon may also sell its own products on its own account. But in the given example, what I have explained is with regard to the Y Limited showcasing its item on the platform. A approached the platform, bought the good and paid the money to Amazon. Amazon deducts the commission and pays the balance to Y. Y Limited will pay the GST to the government. Y Limited will also deliver the iPhone to A of Vijayawada. Okay. Now it may so happen that with the recommendation of the GST Council, the central government may by notification specify that the GST in this case is to be paid by the Amazon e-commerce operator itself instead of Y paying the GST amount. The Amazon e-commerce operator itself has to pay 8,800 rupees to the government. Will this happen all times? No, it won't happen all times. It will happen only when the central government, the government in the sense the central government, on the recommendation of GST Council, by way of a notification specify certain goods or services in respect of which the e-commerce operator himself has to pay the GST. Okay. Now this is the example. Let's check if I am reconnected with the internet. Yes, I got reconnected to the internet. Now check here. I searched for iPhone and iPhone 11 64 GB purple is displayed. Now if I click on this and again iPhone, are there any other iPhone 11 64 GB? If you check here, the iPhone 11 64 GB purple, the iPhone 11 64 GB white. Let's check if both the phones are sold by the same retailer or same person or not. Let's go into this display. Now here what it is saying, sold by Apereo Retail and fulfilled by Amazon. So if you check here, this product, though it is displayed on Amazon, this what is happening, so, though it is sold on the platform of Amazon, this is actually sold by Apereo Retail Private Limited. Okay, so this is displayed by Apereo Retail Private Limited on Amazon and you are interested in buying it. Now let's go to the other product. Let's go to the Apple iPhone 11 white 64 GB. Now this is also sold by Apereo Retail. Let's check another phone. Let's go to this one. I think this is stuck. Let's go to Amazon once again. Amazon.in. I think I have an issue with my internet right now. Okay. Now let me go to iPhone again. Let me check another model. iPhone 7 black. Now this is also sold by Apereo. I will do one thing. I will change the This who is selling? Oh my God! All these are sold by this person only. So I will do one thing. I will go to some other product. I will go to some other product. Now Samsung Galaxy M21. Who is selling this? Who is selling this? Now this product is sold by STPL exclusive online and fulfilled by Amazon. So you check the difference. So what will happen? The money will be received if suppose I buy this phone. If I buy this phone, what will happen? I will pay the money to Amazon. Amazon will deduct its commission and then pays the balance amount to the STPL exclusive online. STPL exclusive online, what it will do? It will uh, it will have to pay GST to the government. Now, how much is the GST? We can know only when the invoice is generated. Okay. Now, let's suppose I want to add this to my cart. Add this to my cart. If I add to this cart, what will happen? It will go for now extra discount on recommended accessories when purchased. Now I don't want to have any uh, what it is asking. It is asking me to log in again. If I log in, I will be directed to the payment page. In the payment page, if the amount is paid, what will happen? A invoice will be generated and it will be sent to me. In that you will have the GST portion. That GST portion, that person seller has to pay the government. Now, if central government notifies that certain products and mobile phones, if sold by e-commerce operator, GST has to be paid by the e-commerce operator, then this fellow will have to pay the GST. Now, this e-commerce operators, are there any notified services? For example, one of the notified service is service by way of transportation of passengers by a radio taxi, motor cab, maxi cab and motorcycle, etc. So this is a service which has been notified, and on this service the e-commerce operator have to pay. Now let us say is there Ola cabs. Let's take the example of Ola cabs. Ola cabs. Let's take the example of Ola cabs. Ola cabs. Now Ola cabs is an e-commerce operator. Ola cabs is an e-commerce operator. Okay. Next, let us say I NRK want to go to airport and I want to travel to New Delhi, or maybe say let me say I want to go to Mumbai. I want to go to Mumbai, for which I have to catch a flight at Vijayawada airport. So I want to go to airport from my home. What I will do, in my mobile I will open Ola app and book a taxi with Ola cabs, and what I from which place to which place I have to go. I have to go from my home to Vijayawada airport. Now here Ola cab has quoted me that I should pay 250 rupees. Now this 250 rupees, after my ride is complete, I will get an invoice. What are the charge for airport, add GST, etc., and total it became 250 rupees. Now some vehicle AP 16 CA 1020 vehicle, that is a what you call a some vehicle has come to me to take me from my home to airport. Now what will happen? I will pay 250 rupees to the Ola cab. Now this AP16 CA1020 car owner is Mr. A. So A has empaneled with Ola cabs, right? So my order has been forwarded and accepted by this person, right? So I paid money to the Ola cabs. Now Ola cabs have to pay money to owner A, but let us assume that the price is 200 rupees. Now add GST, price is 210, add GST 40 and it becomes 200. Just I am taking the example, the rate of GST may not be correct, right? It is 250. Now what will happen is, now this amount of 210 minus commission of 10 rupees, only 200 rupees comes. So 200 will be paid to the owner. Now how much Ola cab has taken? Ola cab has taken 40 rupees GST plus 10 rupees commission. Now the 40 rupees commission what the Ola has charged, it will be remitted to the government. Now this owner of this car AP16 CA1020 has no obligation to pay, because by on the recommendation of the GST Council, the central government by way of a notification has specified that this e-commerce operator who is running transportation of passengers on road through a motor car will be covered under, in respect of that service e-commerce has to pay the GST. Actually who has to pay the GST? The owner A has to pay the GST, but the burden has been shifted and the e-commerce operator has to pay the 40 rupees GST to the government. You see the beauty here. Suppose if this person is required to pay, then will this person get 20 lakhs of rupees per annum as high charges? May or may not be. No, if his total high charges received during the year is less than 20 lakhs, then this fellow need not register and this fellow need not pay the tax. But now what will happen? Just in the case of a reverse charge like that, this e-commerce operator will pay the tax to the government. So for all the owners who have registered with Ola cab, whatever rights they are engaged in, whatever money that has been charged by the Ola cabs, on the entire amount GST will be paid by Ola cabs to the government, and this fellow need not pay the GST. Okay. So for the sake of example, I took you to this extent. Moving forward, what are the GST rates prescribed for various goods? Now, generally, six categories of rates or six rates have been notified under the CGST. So, what are those six rates which have been specified under the CGST? They are 0. They are, oh sorry, I need to click this. They are 0.125%, 1.5%, 2.5%, 2.5%, 6%, 9%, 14%. So these are the rates specified under the CGST Act. Now, an equal amount will be there for SGST also. So for SGST, again 0.12. So if it happens to be an intrastate sale, and in respect of intrastate sale, what you have to pay CGST plus SGST or UTGST. So an equal rate will be notified for SGST also. So an equal rate is notified for the SGST also. Now what will be the rate of IGST? The IGST will be nothing but CGST plus SGST, means automatically the IGST rate will become 0.25. Next 3%, 5%, 12%, 18% and 28%. Now how did you get this CGST plus SGST? Here is 7. We have a note here. Students may refer to the CBIC website for the complete schedule of GST rates for goods for knowledge purpose. So what they are advising us, students, you go to the CBIC website. There you will get the complete GST tariffs. Now CBIC website, we will go to the CBIC website. What is there? Home page for Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs. Okay. Now we shall check if we can find, friends. I think this time my net connection is not that much good, I think. Right. Now where can we find the tariff? Can we find the tariff somewhere here? So we will check whether we can find the tariff. This is customs tariff. So we will do one thing, CBIC, and check for GST tariff on goods and service. CBIC, Government of India rates HTML. We have this in rates HTML. Now why is it appearing like this? Right. Now this has been updated as on 30th June 2020. Now what here they are saying, now you have the goods rates booklet, service rates booklet. If you observe here, you have and guide on export or import tax rates, right? Now if you, now here this is the tariff. If you want to search for any good, what do you want to search? Toothpaste. Can we find the entry? Okay, we will do one thing. We will go for shampoo. We will go for shampoo and click enter. No match found for this specified chapter or description. What shall we go for? Or else check for computer. Alright, now you got here. What it is saying? Computer monitors not exceeding 32-inch set-top box for television. How much is the tariff rate? CGST 9%, SGST or UTGST 9%, and IGST is 18%. There is no compensation cess. Okay. Now, if you are interested, or let us say, let's check for another thing, mobile. Here you are getting ships, derricks, cranes, including mobile phones. We will say mobile phone. We will say mobile phone. We are unable to search, or let us say phone. Let's say phone. Okay, parts for manufacture of telephones for cellular networks or other wireless networks. What is the rate? 6%, 6%, 12%. Now, if you are interested, you can download the rates book, rate of GST on goods. So here you have the schedules and nil rate. What are they? 0.25 rate, 3 rate, 5 rate, 12 rate, 18 rate, 28 rate. Means this is IGST rate. If you half it, it will be CGST or SGST or UTGST rate. So if you want to know the products which are chargeable at 0.25 rate, you can go to page number 14. So go to page number 14. Page number 14, you will get this 0.25 rates. So what is the schedule? The schedule has to change. This is the serial number. So here it is, schedule number 2. List of goods which are chargeable at 0.25% rate. What are they? Diamonds, precious stones, diamonds non-industrial, unworked or simply sawn, cleaved or bruted. Precious stones other than diamonds and semi-precious stones, unworked or simply sawn or roughly shaped. Synthetic or reconstructed precious or semi-precious stones, unworked or simply sawn or roughly shaped. Now this is chargeable at the rate of 0.25 IGST rate. Means 0.125 CGST, 0.125 SGST or UTGST, like that. Now schedule 3 gives the rate for 3%. So these are all the items which are chargeable at 3%. Okay, this is how you can find. Similarly, you can go for the booklet on services. This is of 30 pages. Here you will get a list of services chargeable at nil rate, 5% rate, 12% rate, 18% rate and a 28% rate. Now GST on supply of service at the same rate as on supply of similar goods. Okay, so this you can go and if you go to the 26th page, you can understand as to what it is meant by. Transfer of the right to use any good for any purpose, whether or not for a specified period. Same rate of GST and as on supply of a similar good. So transfer of right to use. You are transferring the right to use this mouse to somebody. Okay. So at what rate it will be chargeable? What it is saying? Is saying that it will be chargeable to tax at the same rate as when you sell this product. When you sell this mouse, how much is the rate of tax? The same thing will appear to the allowing the right to use this mouse by another person. Okay, and any transfer of right in goods or of undivided share in goods without the transfer of title thereof. Here in the components of sale we have understood that exchange, barter, leasing, renting, all these things will also be treated as a supply, of course, for a consideration. Okay, supply of goods or services are both for a consideration in course or furtherance of business, that we have learned. Okay, next, moving forward, since we are done with this, now the classification of goods, you have to go to the tariff. The tariff is divided into sections. First, it will be conveniently divided. It is divided into sections. Each section will have some chapters. Each chapter will have some headings. Each heading will have some subheading. In that you have to find out your tariff item. Okay. So if you want to find the tariff rate for a pen, what you have to do? You have to go to the appropriate section. In that section you find out the appropriate chapter. In that chapter go to the heading. In that heading find the appropriate subheading, and finally you get the tariff item pen, and against it a rate of tax has been mentioned. That will be the rate of tax on the supply of pen. Right. Now this classification, how it has been made. Now this classification is same as the first schedules to the Customs Tariff Act 1975. Now this first schedule, so for GST also the tariff is imported from the first schedule of the Customs Tariff Act. Now this Indian Customs Tariff is based on the HSN. HSN means Harmonized System of Nomenclature. Now it is a World Customs Organization standard nomenclature. It is an international product nomenclature. Mostly it comprises of 5,000 commodity groups, and here that World Customs Organization HSN nomenclature is 6 digit, but India has adopted a 8 digit code of HSN. So the GST tariff is imported from the first schedule of the Customs Act. The first schedule of the Customs Tariff Act is based upon HSN, which is an international product nomenclature. That international product nomenclature is generally 6 digit code, but we have adopted 8 digit code. Also to find out the tariff, the another most important thing is how a product is classified. How you will identify the classification of this. Now I understand that this is a stylus. I understand that this is a stylus. Okay. Now if this happens to be a stylus, now now whether how to find this stylus in the tariff is the question. For that we have a set of rules of interpretation. We have a set of rules of interpretation. Now the first schedule, and also you have general explanatory notes that have been given. So based on the rules and the explanatory notes, we will get a direction with regard to the nomenclature and how the schedule is to be interrupted. Okay. Now the rules for interpretation as well as the section and chapter notes and the general explanatory notes of the first schedule apply to the interpretation of the rate notification for goods under GST also. So for GST also, in respect of goods, a rate notification has been given. Okay, where from they are importing the classification model from? They are importing it from the first schedule to the Customs Tariff Act. Now in the Customs Tariff Act there are sets of rules for interpretation. You have general explanatory notes, you also have the heading notes and chapter notes. Now what you have to do is in the GST rate notification also, for the purpose of interpretation of classification and for the purpose of general explanatory notes as well as the interpretations as well as the section notes and chapter note, all those things which have been given in the first schedule to the Customs Tariff Act 1975 will also equally apply to the rate notification of GST. Now, therefore, under GST also, the classification of goods is based on harmonized system of nomenclature, and the rules of interpretation of the Customs Tariff Act will apply. Now, once you have classified the product, now in that classification you will have the applicable rate in the notification. So once you have classified, you have to go to the applicable rate. Now, classification of service under GST. Now, for classification of service, a new scheme of classification has been devised. Now, this has been imported from the United Nations Central Product Classification. So, we have imported this classification from the UN Central Product Classification. Now, under that, you have various sections, headings and groups. So, chapter number 99 is assigned for services. So, in this you will have chapters, chapters will have sections, sections will have headings, headings will have groups, groups will have tariff item or service code. So, these are the examples, but for goods, what was the hierarchy? For goods, the hierarchy is section, chapter, heading, subheading, tariff. But here, the hierarchy is chapter, section, heading, group. It is not subheading, this is group, and then tariff, item or service tax code. So for reference sake, it has been given that section 5 of chapter 99, which deals with services, is a construction service. Section 8 deals with business and production service, and so on and so forth. Okay. Next, based upon the classification of the service, the rate of tax is determined. Okay. Now, what are the GST rates which have been prescribed for various services? Broadly, there are 4 rates of CGST that have been notified. What are they? 2.5%. What are they? 2.5%, 6%, 9%, 14%. This is CGST. So correspondingly you will have SGST. Correspondingly you have SGST. What will be the rates? 2.5%, 6%, 9% and 14%. Now if you want the IGST rate, what will happen? This plus this means you will get a 5%, 12%, 18% and 28%. Now these rates are notified by the rate notifications. For your reference, what are the notifications that have been given? Now here also it is mentioned that you can refer to the CBSE website for schedules of GST rates for services for knowledge purposes. We already went into or browsed through the CBSE website. There we have found out the page where you will get the rates. Also in that page you have the booklets for goods as well as a service, which you can download by yourself and you can check for the rates. Okay. Now here some rates have been given for gambling, admission to entertainment events, amusement facilities, sporting events admission, admission to amusement parks including theme parks etc. The rate is 28% IGST, means 14% CGST and 14% SGST. Now, certain services will be chargeable at 5% IGST, that is 2.5% CGST, 2.5% SGST. Now, one of the classic examples for 5% rate of service, 5% rate of GST for service is Goods Transport Agency. However, here you have a condition that the goods transport agency should not take input tax credit for goods and services utilized in providing the output supply. Now, if now we have understood that what are the rates that have been prescribed for the services. Here we understood 5%, 12%, 18%, 28%. So in order to find out the appropriate GST rate for the service which has been supplied by you, you have to go into the tariff, right? In that tariff, you have these sections, chapters, sections, headings, groups, and the tariff item or STC code or service tax code. Now, if you do not find the service what you supply in that tariff, what will happen? It will be chargeable at the rate of 18%. It is not that your service, the service is not chargeable. It is, but nonetheless it is chargeable, unless otherwise it goes into Schedule 3, or unless otherwise it is exempted. So, if the service what you supply do not find a place in the tariff, then if it is not exempted and if it is not a non-GST item, that is the Schedule 3 item, then it will be subjected to 18% of GST, that is 9% CGST and 9% SGST. No. In the real estate sector, just for an example sake, we will go to the real estate sector and find out what are some of the rates which have been given. So, for real estate sector, means this is actually belongs to housing. This rate of 1% and 5% is for housing. It does not it is not the rate which is applicable for commercial real estate. This deals with only housing. So 1% without ITC, that too what should be on what? Affordable houses. Now what is the area? 60 square meters or 90 square meters in non-metros, and 60 square meters in metros, 90 square meters in non-metros, and the value should be only up to 45 lakhs, then it is 1%. Another one is 5% without ITC, that is other than affordable houses. Now in that complex it may so happen that some are commercial, such as shops, offices, etc. Now this is actually residential real estate project. Well, I have mentioned it as a housing, but it should be residential real estate project. Now in that residential real estate project, the carpet area of the commercial apartments should not be more than 15% of the total carpet area of all the apartments. Then only this 5% will apply. Else this 5% won't apply. It will have another rate, 12% or something like that. Now what are the conditions? ITC should not be availed. This fellow, the supplier should not take the ITC. Next. 80 percentage, of course, here we are having a brief discussion. A brief discussion. If you go to the relevant notification, you will get the detailed discussion. 80 percentage of the inputs and input services other than this TDRs and FSI and electricity, high speed diesel, motor spirit natural gas used in the supplying the service shall be purchased only from registered persons. Now what is this point number 13? Now what it says is, where any paragraph is highlighted in green, it is only for knowledge purpose and it is not meant for examination purpose. So if this is given in green, so all these things is given in green, it is only for a knowledge purpose and this is not applicable to your exam purpose. Okay. Now suppose if the value of the inputs and input services purchased from the registered supplier is less than 80%, what the promoter has to do? Promoter has to pay reverse charge under section 9 subsection 4. We already learned that there is 9 subsection 3 and 9 subsection 4 for reverse charge. Now the promoter will pay, because he is in 9.4 we have learned that the procurement should be from unregistered dealers, okay, unregistered persons. Now at what rate this RCM will be paid? 18%. To what extent? To the extent of a shortfall. So if only 75% of inputs and input services are procured from registered persons, what is the shortfall? 5%. On this 5% of procurement, this fellow has to pay RCM at the rate of 18%. Also, if cement is procured from unregistered dealer or unregistered person, the RCM is 28%. Okay. Also, GST on capital goods, GST on capital goods shall be paid by the promoter on the reverse charge mechanism under section 9 subsection 4. Now what is this notification? Notification number 7 of 2019, central tax, and this is rate notification dated 29/3/2019. You have another notification 7 of 2019. This is IGST rate circular dated 29/3/2019. Friends, this has been given only for information sake. Okay. Now, what we will do is, we will conclude this session at this stage, and we will proceed with composition levy section 10 of the CGST Act in our next session. Okay.